Hell yeah, brother. Welcome to the podcast, Stop Crying Poser, right here on twitch.tv/Ninja Lifestyle. Today is Friday. It's about 3:30 p.m. Pacific time. That's when we usually do this podcast. Who do we have in the chat right now? We got Sup Israel, Matches Are Fun, Venus Die Trap, Walter, The Conqueror, FaZe Theo, Spicy Shred, Vulgar Tech, iBook Boy, and maybe a couple more. Spicy Shred. Speaking of spicy, I just bought some very, very spicy beef jerky the other day. And I'll tell you guys, this is how I know I'm getting a little bit older and how I'm no longer as brave as I used to be. They told me, hey, we got the spiciest fucking shit that has ever existed on Earth. It's only $15. I looked at it and I said, you know what? I'll go with the second spiciest. I no longer feel the need to show off by destroying my insides. I said, you know what? I'll take the second spiciest. I think that'll be okay. And I bought it. Still haven't eaten it yet. I'll eat it later today. Then this morning when I was taking my third shit of the first hour of being awake, liquid gang all day, I was looking at my phone. I was like, you know what? I'm going to research that. I'm going to type in this hottest ever beef jerky and see just how gnarly it is. And I typed it in, and guess who I saw? Brian Ames was the very first person that came up, and the video was called, "This Beef Jerky Destroyed Me." So I watched it. It was him and this dude Thomas eating the beef jerky. Halfway through the video, they're both dying, coughing. Am I the only one who's been weirded out about coughing before coronavirus? Because almost every time that guy eats something really spicy, he starts coughing. And oftentimes he's coughing right over the food that he's eating. I don't want to call out Brian Ames, but that shit's fucking annoying. It grosses me out. I'm not saying I could do any better. I'm not saying I wouldn't cough if I was in that situation. I'm sure I would. But every time I watch that fucking video, he goes, yeah, this is really good. And I'm like, oh, like you and your guest are still eating from this food. Now it's half hot sauce. Now it's half Brian Ames spit. Delicious. Maybe that's why it's so spicy. Anyways, welcome to the podcast. I hope you guys are having a great time. Let me tell you guys how hot it is here in Las Vegas. Siri, can you help me out right now? What is the temperature outside?
It's about 106 degrees outside.
A nice, cool, shady 106 degrees. A second ago, I did that here on Twitch, and it said 108 degrees. I don't know what that is in Celsius, but I know it's really fucking hot. In fact, this morning, I let the dog go outside to go poop and go pee, and I watched him go out into the sunlight, and he started to take a shit. Then he started to take a shit with one leg in the air, and then he switched it to the other leg, and switched it to the other leg, and he was doing this weird shitting dance, and the reason was because his feet were getting burned by the hot-ass fucking ground. What a terrible life that would be, to be a dog, and all you want to do is take a shit, but you can't do it without your hands and feet burning to death. Just because humans haven't invented the dog toilet yet? What the hell is going on? I don't understand what's happening in the world, but I will tell you guys a new recipe I came up with. Speaking of hot dogs' feet, let's talk about alcohol. I invented this shit. I'm not saying I'm coining the name because it's probably been thought of before, but hear me out. It's called the Vodka La Vista. Not to be confused with the Hakuna Vodka. The Vodka La Vista. Here's what you do. You take a red 211 fruit punch or whatever flavor you like. 211 Steel Reserve. You get yourself a tall can, 24 ounces. Then you get yourself about 4 shots of flavored vodka. If you really want, you can throw in a splash of vitamin water or maybe squeeze a lime. But you put that together and it's fucking Vodka La Vista, motherfucker. You're about to be feeling good. Or if you're like a small person, maybe like 120 pounds, I know a lot of my viewers are skinny weirdos, this shit might kill you. You might actually fucking die, so don't be drinking that shit. Cut it down. However much, here's what it is. For every 50 pounds of weight, add 1 shot of vodka or a clear liquor of your desire. Although, I can't imagine ever adding tequila to that. But that just sounds bad. I had a tequila drink the other day, like a margarita, and it was not good. And then yesterday, Lily ordered some mojitos. I had a mojito. I tasted nothing but mint. I felt like I was chewing a mint tree like a fucking panda or something. I got pandas on the brain because she was showing me some video of a panda eating bamboo. That shit looked fake. He was just biting through this bamboo. This really hard wood, right? Don't they make boats and ships and shit out of bamboo over there? I've only watched a couple of survival videos, but there's something going on with bamboo, and it's hard to cut. These fucking bears, polar bears, whatever the fuck they are, panda bears, they're just biting it, eating it like it's a french fry, pissing me the fuck off. But one thing that's not pissing me the fuck off is giving away free stickers to people who watch the podcast live. You. Hey, yeah, you fat fuck. Who, me? Yeah, you. You want to win a free Ninja Lifestyle sticker? Well, all you have to do is answer this question correctly in the chat. Someone requested that we do a trivia question based on classic rock, and that's what the fuck we're doing. So the question is this. Can you name 3 members of Motley Crue? Motley Crue is an American heavy metal band formed in Los Angeles in 1981. All you have to do is name 3 of the people in the band, and you get a fucking sticker pack. Now, we kind of made this easy for the guy that really, really wanted it to be about classic rock. You should be the one who gets this right. I think it was Sup Israel. So if he doesn't get this shit right, he's getting banned. How about that? iBookBoy says Tommy Lee. He's got 1 right, but that's not 3, bitch. I said 3 fucking people. Also, this guy's in the UK. He's probably getting all this resistance from the underwater internet trans hotline. iBookBoy says Jones, Neil, Mars. Let me see here. Are those correct? McMars, yes. I don't know who Jones is. Let me scroll to the right here. I don't know if that's right. Vince Neil, yes. Tommy Lee, Mars, I don't know. Sup Israel says Kiki Sizz, Vince Neil, Tommy Lee, you motherfuckers. I'm going to give it to iBookBoy. Just because somebody in the chat says Extentacion. That was in the second version of Motley Crue. iBookBoy's trying to do it from memory. Don't forget that when we do these trivia questions, it's based on real life, so you are allowed to Google. I always think back to the days of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? When they say, I'd like to phone a friend. And they phone the friend, but then their friend is on their fucking 56K modem like, fuck, what's the answer? Oh, this is the answer. And they yell it out like at the last fucking second. You guys remember that shit? iBookBoy says Vince Neil, Nikki Sixx, and Tommy Lee. I'm going to give it to iBookBoy, but since he's in the UK, he's not allowed to win. Nope, because this is an ethnocentric. What does it mean when you're like, you think your country is the best? Is it ethnocentric? I don't fucking know. Whatever it is, we don't be giving out free shit to the UK. I'm telling y'all that. Donald Trump told me don't ever give free stickers to anyone not American. That's what he told me. He called me. Oh, by the way, this is the greatest podcast known to man as voted by Vince Neil, Nikki Sizz, and Tommy Lee. The real winner here is Sup Israel. So please talk to me on Instagram or in a Twitch DM or something like that, and I will get you your free Ninja Lifestyle sticker pack. It's not really free, though, because you're kind of earning it. It's almost like even though there's a coronavirus, you still have one job, and that's viewing this podcast every week and trying to win something for you, your family, and your community, and your country, and for whatever god you worship. Buddha. Sup, Israel. I know about you and Buddha, you motherfucker. So, I was cruising the internet in my 6'4" this morning, and I'm watching a Thrasher video, and I fast forward to the middle, and I accidentally hit pause, and I saw this dude's pants. It was a single frame of just a skateboarder's pants, and I said to myself, I bet he does an impossible. I looked at his pants, and he just looked. It wasn't like I could see his foot set up. I couldn't see where his feet were set up. I couldn't see anything. All I saw was the style of pants he had, and I said, you know what? This guy's going to do an impossible. Maybe a no comply, but I'm going impossible. What the fuck does he do? They do a slow-mo impossible over a table. I'm fucking psychic. I don't know how else to explain it. Also, if he would have done a no comply, I would have also probably taken credit for that because I could have guessed either one. You're not going to be super psychic, right? Even Miss Cleo will be like, oh, I sense someone tall. Was there someone tall, a tall male? They don't say, oh, you're tall Uncle Larry. They start off kind of vague. So that's what I did. I was like, probably going to be either Oh, you're going to do a skateboarding trick. I bet it's either going to be an impossible or maybe a no comply. Turned out it was impossible. Miss Cleo was right again. I feel like there's no one better, no one out there with a greater capability to be a commentator for, I don't know, Street League, X Games, whatever you name it. But specifically for Ninja Review, no one out there could do my job better than me. And I feel like these little tiny signs that I see, I'm like the shining. I have the shine. I can just see into the future. These little things that I can see about, like, I just translate the fold of your pants into knowing every trick you've ever done. I feel like that speaks volumes. And that's something you can't teach. They don't teach that in college. But I'll tell you what, I used to read about dumb college classes, right? Like there was a college class on learning how to speak like the Star Wars language. I don't know what the language, there's some language. Maybe it's Star Trek. I don't know. One of them has like a special language. And they actually had a college class where you could learn this made up language so you could talk to other fucking Star Trek fans. And that became a fucking class in college. So if there's ever like a commentary class for action sports in college, I should be the first one in line to get a fucking job. Also, despite my dirty mouth here on the podcast, I'm actually pretty good in a professional setting. Don't forget, guys, I used to go to Woodward, the capital of anti-gay bullying or whatever. I hate that place, dude. But I used to go there and do a little class on social media, and I kept it all good. No bad words. I did most of the talking. I had a little talking points. I explained shit. At the end of my little thing, we had a question and answer session. I was always the one leading the conversation, even though I was there with other groups of people, Josh Katz, Major Crew, and shit like that. Motherfucker, I could do it. So the day that they have skateboarding commentary college classes, bitch, you could call me professor. I'm going to be fucking Walter White in that bitch. I'm going to be teaching people, look at his pants, asshole. What do you see? I don't know. I see some dickies, professor. Bitch, what do you see? What do you see behind the dickies? I don't know, probably his dick. No, inside the dick, up a little bit, the part that's beating. What do you see? How do I reach you? He's wearing dickies. Maybe an impossible. You're correct. Correct. Jason, correct. We've taught you well. Take this diploma and go judge X Games, you son of a bitch. Imagine that scenario. Anyways, that all just came from me just seeing the pants. You know what that also says about skateboarding? You guys are wildly predictable. Skateboarders are fucking predictable. That's just something that's been around for life. In fact, speaking of skateboarding and predictability, today's upload, Friday, I tried to learn a back 360. I can already back 360 on a pyramid. I was trying to do it out of a bowl, out of kind of a tight bowl, like a launch ramp, I guess you could say. And I tried it. I showed up to the park, right? I'm like, I could probably do this, right? Like I used to do when I was a kid. I tried it once, didn't come close. Tried it twice, didn't come close. Third try, almost did it. Fourth try, landed it. Fifth try, landed the most perfect 360 of my life. It was great. Then I thought to myself, you know what? I'll pull out the camera. I'll do this 360. That'll be a perfect warm-up. Then I'll go for the real trick. Little to my dismay, I sat there trying this 360 for an hour and a half. I landed probably 10 of them, but none of them were anywhere near as clean as the first one. I sat there in a pool of despair and sadness. We did get one that was pretty okay, but now I feel like I'm letting down the YouTube community, right? Because I'm going to go back on Friday, next Friday, knowing that I failed last Friday and the Friday before that. 2 Fridays of failures. It shouldn't be flat bar Friday. It should be failure Friday because all I do is fail my trick. I'm going to come back. I'm going to try to do 360 again. Then I'm going to try fakie flip board slide again. And if I fail that shit again, then I'm just going to be very, very sad. Very, very sad. I might cry in front of the whole skate park. Can you imagine that? Ninja Lifestyle breaks down its skate park. Scooter riders laugh at him. Oh, how the tables have turned. Can you imagine that being a fucking Fox 5 article? Local skateboarder in his 30s bullied by multiple 12-year-old skateboarding feminine boys. Oh, it's just me crying. Oh. Whatever. I think that's just life. You know, sometimes things work out good, sometimes they don't. I just couldn't help but feel like a victim. All I would have had to do was pull out my camera 5 minutes earlier and I would have fucking landed the perfect 360. Could have changed my whole day, but I guess that's just how things go. Let's talk a little bit about the news today. I don't want to get too political, but I know that we're going to because it's been a real political week. There have been a lot of like viral videos going around. I know you guys know what I'm talking about, and they've all seemed to one-up each other. The first one I saw was this guy, Ahmaud Arbery. He's just going for a jog. A bunch of white dudes run up and beat his ass and kill him for no fucking reason. That happened. Those guys went to jail. That seems like it's moving in the right direction, but it took a really long time for those guys to get arrested, so we just sit here and we have to question our justice system. Then a couple weeks later, we get this guy who's at New York Park hanging out bird watching, just hanging out watching birds. He's a black dude, not the typical hobby of black dudes, but hey, you know what? You're watching birds. That's good. That's really good. It's no better or worse than fucking playing video games like me all day. He's watching fucking birds, hanging out, minding his own fucking business. He sees a dog come up. You and I both know dogs hate black people, and he just says, "Hey, can you please put your dog on a leash?" And this white lady goes nuts, makes up a story, calls the police, claims that he's threatening her, makes up this whole fucking like fake story. And that becomes a big deal. Luckily, that one got handled correctly because rather than, you know, a black dude getting put in jail or beaten, he had the whole thing filmed. So it was super obvious that she was lying. Also, part of that video that made it viral is the whole time that she's talking, she's choking the shit out of the dog. Maybe on accident, maybe on purpose, maybe she doesn't really know what's happening. She sees a black guy and just wants to call the cops. Fucking Karen, right? That's the word we're using these days. And while she's doing that, she's fucking choking the shit out of this poor little poodle or whatever. And it's just like, it's just flopping around, fucking gasping for air. Poor dog did nothing. And that shit happened. And then now in Minneapolis, this guy, George Floyd, gets fucking killed by 3 police officers. That shit goes viral. There's riots everywhere. Recording this podcast on Friday. What is the date? May 29th. So this shit just happened like 2 days ago. This guy dies while police are just fucking with him. After he's already like completely unconscious, they remain fucking choking this guy out for like 3-4 extra minutes. And only today, I haven't read the article yet. We'll check it out right now. But Lily told me that they arrested that cop for murder, which is something we don't see that often, that we probably should see a lot more often, right? And I phrased it like this on Twitter the other day. I said, if I get into a car accident and I fucking kill somebody, I have to answer for that. I'm in big fucking trouble, right? If you're running a restaurant and you accidentally poison a bunch of people, you fucked up and you have to answer for that. You have to now, I don't know what the penalty is, but maybe it's jail time, maybe it's some type of warning, maybe it's some type of citation. But one thing that doesn't happen is it doesn't just get forgotten and swept under the rug, right? If I get too drunk and I punch somebody at a club and they fucking fall down and smack their head and break their neck, I'm now gonna be fucking charged with manslaughter or whatever. Well, the weird thing is if you're a cop and you do that shit, nothing happens. You get a couple days of vacation time, you know, paid vacation. They do a little internal investigation. You get found innocent, and now this fucking guy's just dead. His family's super sad. All his friends are sad, and you're just going back to work, fucking up more black people. And it seems like this this cycle never stops. But one thing that's been happening over there is the riots, and that is where I think I'm going to disagree with a lot of people. I think protesting is cool, rioting's okay too. Looting, kind of gray area. But if you're going around these small businesses and lighting them on fire and fucking up, you know, just regular people's cars just because you want to fuck up a car, or if you're breaking into an electronics store and stealing TVs and shit like that, I think that's counterproductive. Maybe not necessarily counterproductive. I just feel like it's unrelated. Is that something that we can agree on, go to the police station and fuck it up. I'm down. You find a cop car, smash the window. Sure, cool. You want to light the police station on fire? Cool. I see that as something that's like connected, right? I can connect the dots. Okay, the cops fucked up. You're going to fucking let them know that you're not going to have this shit, that you are saying, I see something wrong and I see something. I want something to be done. I kind of get that part. But when you say to yourself, hey, this black guy got killed by cops, I do really need a TV though. I feel like in that situation, you're not protesting. You're not even paying attention to what's really happening at all. Like that guy, I don't think anyone who's stealing these TVs really has that guy in mind, right? Nobody's thinking, oh, as they walk out with their brand new 42-inch, no one's going, oh, George Floyd, man, that really sucks what happened to him. No, they're saying, oh man, I wish I could have got a PS4 too. You know what I mean? And in that situation, it annoys me, and I feel like it should annoy everyone. But I said this on Twitter yesterday, and a lot of people disagreed. They just said that, hey, any type of rebellion it counts. You know, it's okay. And I don't know if I agree with that. I truly believe that if if you use this guy's death as an excuse to go steal a PlayStation, then I don't think that you're sad that he died. I think you're hyped. Hot take, I know. I think you're fucking hyped that this fucking horrible crime happened. I don't think that it's protest. And I know I'm going to get a lot of shit for that. Hopefully you guys can see, you know, the logic from where I'm coming from, but it's I truly feel like everyone should be annoyed at that. And a lot of people aren't. And it's hard to have like a civil discussion. I tried to talk to this guy yesterday about it, and he said, oh, you don't understand, man, you're not black. I was like, okay, I'm not black, but you know, you could talk to me about it. We could figure out where exactly we disagree and why we disagree. Nah, it doesn't matter. No reason to talk to you. You'll never understand being black. And it's like, what? Like, yeah, you'll never understand having short brown hair. You'll never understand having a lower back problem. Motherfucker, but we can still communicate as human beings. I think that's the biggest fucking cop-out ever. And you know what? Me saying that, that's just because you're white, dude. It's not a cop-out, man. You just can't understand because the color of your skin. What, my weird, feeble white brain can never understand the definition of racism? I guess not. Like, why? You know what? In that situation, then black people and white people should never talk to each other ever. Right? Like, is that what the fuck you guys are saying? If no one can ever understand anyone about anything, they can never fucking, then why fucking ever talk? Like, what? That seems like the most racist fucking shit. That's as racist as this fucking cop that killed this black dude for no fucking reason. Are we going in a circle, or are we trying to move forward here? Or are we just trying to fucking get a PlayStation? I don't fucking know, man. I know there's a lot of details of these cases that I haven't seen or read about, but it's also one of those things where it's such a divider of people, and all these stories have gone so viral, and it's kind of like you can't have an opinion without being a strong opinion, right? You can't there's no middle opinion, right? Everything's just pardon the pun, everything's just black or white. Fucking it's a hard time to have a conversation with anybody, especially when people get so emotional about it. You know, you say something like, man, that cop should go to jail. And then somebody goes, jail? What are you, fucking racist? He should be killed. And I'm like, what the fuck? I thought I was already saying, like, he committed a crime of murder. The cop did. He should go to jail. Jail? Yeah, they should kill him. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like, now we're fighting? Like, I'm in an argument now because you don't want the cop to just go to jail? You want him to be murdered on the street? I guess. I see it. But you don't have to fucking, it doesn't have to be fucking, some people have this mentality where it's like if you don't agree with me, you're against me. And it even goes further than that. It's like, if you don't agree with me, then you hate me. And if you hate me, I hate you. So if we disagree, we now hate each other. And I think that I've always been the type of person who's oftentimes, at some point in the argument, I've always kind of been like, you know what? Agree to disagree. You know, unless I've had too many beers, then I'll just argue all fucking night like an idiot. But at least at some point, I just kind of say agree to disagree. All right, that's just how I feel. Let's try to read this article. Fired Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin has been charged with third-degree murder and manslaughter in the death of George Floyd. Hennepin County Attorney Mike Freeman announced. So he's been charged. We don't know if he's in jail. Again, this is on Friday, May 29th. But what I think a lot of people are wondering is there was 3 people kneeling on this guy. And also, like, it's such a fucked way. Man, I don't want to get too, like, I don't want to get too much on the emotion side, but it's just a fucked way to kill somebody if you're a cop whose job is generally to protect people, right? This guy didn't have a knife. He wasn't lunging at you and you had to smash his face on the ground. This wasn't a high-speed chase where dozens of pedestrians almost died. I mean, it's just, you got the guy under control. You got him handcuffed. Let's continue. The medical examiner announced that it had made, quote, no physical findings that support a diagnosis of traumatic asphyxia or strangulation. So the preliminary results of the autopsy were included. So what do they say? They say that it was underlying health conditions. I mean, not unbelievable, but I'm going to tell you guys this, man. I did jiu-jitsu for almost 2 years, all right? You slam your fucking knee into somebody's neck and you leave it there for 10 minutes, it's going to, whatever, like, it doesn't matter what issues they had before. It's going to be fucking bad. It's bad news. You're stopping blood from getting to their brain. Your fucking knee's right on their neck. You know what I mean? I remember reading that the guy was saying that he can't breathe. So, I mean, I kind of get the cop side, like, okay, yeah, whatever, dude, you can't breathe. But motherfucker, you're on him. You could feel if he's breathing enough, you know? If his breath is getting shorter and shorter and shorter, and then he stops breathing, I think that would be a reasonable time to get your fucking knee off the guy. And if you don't, then cops, listen up. You should be ready to go to jail. I don't think this is a crazy idea. I think you should be ready to fucking go to jail. Also, a little bit more on the controversial side. I was on Facebook, and one of the big, like, thoughts that have been getting shared is if you see me getting choked by a cop, don't film it. Please help me. So I think that's an interesting take on the situation, right? We say to ourselves, oh, these cops are so fucked up, and don't you understand that you're taking a human life? Don't you understand this is a person with a family that's below you, dying underneath your knee and your fucking arms right in front of you? Don't you understand that? But then you also kind of got to think to yourself, well, there's a lot of people else that are there. Nobody could run up and be like, hey, dude, you guys are really fucking going overboard here. And that's kind of an issue too, is you don't want to fuck with a cop, dude. They're like bees or wasps or something. You fuck with one too hard, they turn around, and the next thing you know, it's your fucking neck on the ground. So I think we have like a fundamental issue here. Certainly race is involved. And I was on Twitter also. You'd swear how many times I'm mentioning Twitter this podcast, that I'm on Twitter all the fucking time. Kevin Romar, pro skateboarder, he said he had only been to Minneapolis once, and the one time he was there, him and 12 skaters all got pulled aside. He was the only one that got his board taken by the cops. He was the only one that got frisked. He was the only one that got put in handcuffs and got a ticket. Everyone else was let go, and he was the only black guy. So there's also like the race side of it, that maybe this is just a bad place to be black, and maybe these cops are just that fucking terrible. But as Saren Muse says, have you seen videos of people trying to save the suspect or whatever? It oftentimes escalates the issue. Yeah, I get it. It's kind of like a double-edged sword. Like, you're kind of fucked if you do something. You're also fucked if you don't. You know, if you're going to sit there and film a guy die, I mean, it's good for evidence. It's good that we have this, we can go viral. It's good that we can actually get some type of justice. Hopefully, if these guys do end up going to jail and they do end up serving prison time for murder, right? This is no accidental, oops, I accidentally dropped a wrench off the construction site and killed my foreman. Like, that's an accident. This is like truly, I'm trying to fucking kill you. You know what I mean? And I don't know. Spicy Shred says, saving a life or millions of views? I don't know. Which one do you want to choose? It's just such a fucked situation. I think, like, that's why it's so hard to talk about, right? Because then we have these riots, and you say, well, why are you rioting, man? But it's like, motherfucker, because this is terrible. And the only way to get heard is to fucking be heard. You know what I mean? That's a great way to be heard. So I guess I see all angles. I don't have a definite 100% opinion on this, and I also don't want to talk about this too much longer because we're going to wait for more information to come out. At this point, as far as what happens to those guys, we're just speculating. But I do want to take this time to appreciate that this is fucking 3 big viral, like racist themed issues that have happened in the past 2 weeks that have taken over the news. And I think Will Smith said it best. He said, racism isn't getting worse, it's getting filmed. I think that's a pretty interesting and bold way to put it. And I don't know. It's hard to have a concrete opinion on this whole thing. But one thing's for sure is it's a very sad story. And the fact that we've had 3 stories like this happen in the past fucking short amount of time is really telling. So I don't know, just my comments on it. Then again, what could I possibly fucking know? I'm not black. I hate when people say that, dude. Can you imagine if I fucking told a black dude that? You don't understand, dude. This is white ideas only. Like, what the fuck, bitch? The fuck? How could you say that to somebody? I don't know. Maybe I really don't understand though. I mean, I'm certainly not certainly not fucking all knowing. Anyways, let's go on to speaking of coronavirus, no one was. I feel like we're talking about coronavirus every goddamn day now. But on June 4th, which is, 5 days from now, the Strip's going to open, gambling's going to be back, all this shit's going to reopen, water parks are open. Let's read the article real quick. Thousands of people are preparing to go back to work on the Las Vegas Strip June 4th. Quote, we have to take quite a few online classes in regards to COVID-19 and safety, and then we'll have to do some in-person training, which I get it. I'm down with that. I really wanted us to get off of this quarantine shit as soon as possible, but also as safely as possible. But also, we need to get back to shit because Las Vegas is kind of like slowly dying. This person works as a table games dealer at the Wynn Las Vegas. She's also a member of the United Auto Workers Union. Okay, what does that mean? Quote, I was very impressed with the Wynn's coronavirus testing. Wynn Las Vegas was one of the first Strip properties to offer and then mandate COVID-19 testing for employees. Castrol hopes they will add antibody testing to that. Antibody testing. Does that mean... So if you have an antibody, maybe somebody in the chat can help me. If you have an antibody, that means that it's like proof that you've gotten the virus before and maybe it just didn't affect you badly? Or maybe you just thought it was an average like sickness or something? Or does that mean something more technical? Sarah Muse says, antibody testing tests if you've had it. So you could have possibly had it and showed no symptoms. I know that we're talking about, a lot of people die from it all over the place. Yeah, sure. But I'm sure there has to be a couple of people out there, or maybe a lot, I don't fucking know, that got this shit, showed no symptom whatsoever. It got into them. Their body just fought it off right away. Maybe they just got lucky or something. Maybe they ate their orange juice that day or whatever, and they were all good. I don't fucking know. But I think that'll be really interesting. I think those stats, when they come out, not to make any predictions or anything, but I think those will be really interesting. I remember reading that when they tested the NBA, I think it was like 3 or 4 people tested positive, but none of them, like 0, had symptoms or something like that. I don't want to spread the fake news or whatever, but I remember reading something like that. Also, I remember reading the fighter Jacare tested positive right before his UFC event, him and his corner. So his 2 coaches also had it, and they didn't have any symptoms either. So I'm sure that there's some people that got this shit and just had no symptoms. I feel like that's also part of why it was so dangerous too, because you could be totally fine, just happy-go-lucky guy walking around, and then you get some old person sick, and then they die, and then it's your fault, but you never know. You never knew. Who fucking knows? I feel like that was part of like the craziness, and that was everybody's sort of reasoning, but I feel like it's kind of the same with the flu, right? I don't want to say that. If you say that out loud, I become... Speaking of no one being in the middle anymore, everyone wants to argue. If you say some shit like that, it becomes, oh, so you want me to die? So you want my grandma to die? Is that what you're saying? Like, no, man, no. I just want my girlfriend to have a job again. Sorry. Fuck, excuse me. Oh, man. Anyways, continuing. Reopening plan. They laid out extra steps employees will have to take, including temperature checks and wearing PPE. Personal protection ejaculation. I don't know what the E stands for. Equipment. Castrol says they will include company-issued masks, personal hand sanitizer, and sanitizing stations set up around the property. That'll be nice. You know what? If anything good came from this shit, it's that. Everywhere I fucking go now, there's somewhere where there's like a little thing where you can wash your hands, sanitize your fucking hands now. I love that shit. I think we should have had that in Las Vegas, a city where everyone's touching everything, touching slot machines, touching fucking ATM machines. Everyone's touching everything, fucking wiping their nose, touching it, touching glasses. Might not be getting washed all the way. We should have had these fucking, these sanitization stations. They should have been here years ago, and I know they were, but they should be like all over the place. There should be so many of them. It should get annoying. I think there should be one at every slot machine. Fuck, I'm gonna sanitize every time I hit the button. I don't give a fuck. Speaking of that, dude, we're here on Twitch, by the way, guys. Keno streams, live gambling is coming back with a fucking vengeance, baby. I got a $100 bill right here, just waiting to get burnt out. Look at it. I got it saved right here. This is getting gambled on day fucking 1. I cannot wait. I can't wait. I was doing the, I'm such a bad gambler. I was doing like the fucking daydreaming, and I was like, what about, I'm doing the math right now. What if I put $100 in one hand and I hit a 7 spot, which the odds are like 1 in a million. I was like, what if I hit that shit? And Lily's like, yeah, how much would that be? I'm like, $700,000. So now I'm gonna go there with this $100 bill, and I'm gonna be expecting to make $700,000. And of course, I'm gonna just get shit on and fucking lose. But I'll tell you what, guys, I'm gonna be playing some big money. It's either gonna make a lot of money or lose a lot of money. It's gonna happen really quickly. But I'm telling you, fucking guys, this: if we hit on day 1 coming back, I'm making like 10 grand. I'm telling you, motherfuckers, that. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. I know Captain Canuck is a big fan of the gambling, because there's not a whole lot of gambling going down in Canada. I'll tell you that much. God damn it. Anyways, continue this article. In its reopening plan, we already read that. We want people to work. People want to work. People want to provide for their families. There's just trepidation there. I don't know what that word means. That's why we want to make sure not some of the measures are implemented, but all of them. I get it. I'm down. We will be protecting our guests. It'll be nice for our guests to protect us as well as we've been doing in Nevada with social distancing and staying home. We're going to be in front of people from around the world again, and it might get out from guest going to guest, whatever. You know what the fuck they're saying. One thing I was kind of thinking of, please don't fucking hang me out to dry on this social distancing thing, but Nevada only has like 400 deaths, which is a lot, but is it really a lot? I don't know. My issue is I sort of feel like we never really shut down. Okay, I get it. People got fired and shit. Everyone lost their jobs. Like the strip shut down and Fremont shut down and all the stores shut down. But if you went to like the skate park, or if you went to like the dog park, or if you went to the fucking hiking trails, there was fucking people everywhere. I don't know why I'm whispering that. There's people everywhere. So I feel like we're kind of a good example of what would happen if you didn't shut down that much and we only had 400 deaths. So I'm still kind of on that side where I want to be careful, I want to be cautious, I want to be courteous to other people, but I also kind of have the opinion that I think we might have overstated what the fuck is going on. I mean, was it really worth all that toilet paper, you fucking dickheads? I don't know. I think it was kind of overstated. Anyways, the fucking city's gonna reopen on June 4th, and I am excited for that. I know that's not happening everywhere, though. There's a lot of states and cities still that are gonna remain as locked down as they have been. I think that our governor would maybe like to do that, but I don't think fucking Vegas is... I think, like, they know that motherfuckers are not gonna be doing this shit no more. Also, I don't know where this money comes from. Unemployment? We have, like... What did they say last week? It was like 50% unemployment. Where the fuck does this money come from? Like, casinos are not making any money, but they're just throwing money away. They're just bleeding to death. I don't know. I don't understand how that shit works. I don't know how the fucking government works, or money, or taxes, or any shit like that. But I did hear I might get an extra $1,200 again, motherfuckers. Shit, I might turn that $100 Keno night into $200 Keno night. That would be fucking crazy. That'd be a nice day. Anyways, that's really all I have to talk about here on the podcast, unless somebody in the comments has a story they'd like to bring up. I know somebody was talking about some chick who was killed by police in Toronto or something, fell down out of the window. I didn't want to read that shit, man. It ain't no local news. I'm talking about West Coast, Best Coast news. And I do consider Las Vegas West Coast. It's close. It's West Coast. We'll call it the West Coast because it's close to the coast. Hopefully you guys can understand what the fuck. It was a play on words. You know what the fuck I'm trying to say. Oh, I think that's all I got for the podcast today. I'm sorry we had to get so political and emotional and shit, but there really is a lack of news. I love to sit here and make jokes about the fucking misfortunes of local people here in Las Vegas, but it's a bad time. It's a bad time for America. It's a bad time to be a cop. It's a bad time to be black. It's a bad time to try to have a podcast and talk about shit that makes people laugh because it's just an unhappy time in the world. But hopefully you guys can overcome and remain positive. Can I get a hell yeah from everybody who's still here in the chat, please? So I can shout out everybody by name who tuned in here on twitch.tv/Ninja Lifestyle every single Friday, right around 3:30 p.m. Pacific time. God damn it, Captain Canuck, Saren Mew. Captain Canuck, one of the greatest Mario World players I know of. Saren Mew, pretty damn good Mario 64 player. He also plays Zelda on 64, which I don't know why anyone would do that. That game sucks balls. Walter the Conqueror, matches are fun. Sup Israel, iBook Boy, Spicy Shred, and maybe a couple of other lurkers. We got Flez 1594, Vulgar Tech. Also, shout out to Matches Are Fun because it looks like he gave a subscription to iBook Boy 37 minutes ago. Also, shout out to our new followers, Crad and David. I appreciate all you guys, especially those who tune in, who tune in live for the podcast. But don't worry, if you didn't make it live or you missed half of the podcast, don't fucking worry. You better quit worrying, little missy, because the podcast comes out on iTunes, Podbean, YouTube. Also, shout out to Saren Mew subscribing. By the way, subscribing on Twitch costs money. You gotta pay money. And I've been doing really good with this fucking Twitch money, man. I am so grateful that the things on Twitch are going well for me. And I think, truly, I think it's because you guys are all dope people. But I also think it's because I've been streaming more lately, and my Mario skills and my entertaining skills have been evolving. And I feel like I'm earning this shit. I feel like I'm an entertaining guy, you fucking assholes. But I also feel like I have the greatest group of viewers also. Then again, everyone fucking says that. I don't fucking know. I hope you guys have a great weekend. That's all I got. Don't go anywhere because I will remain streaming if you're watching live. But if you're not watching live, have a great weekend. Have a great week. Good luck if you're going back to work. If you're going back to school, I hated school. Quit that shit. Also, feel free to steal my poetry. I uploaded a poem onto Instagram earlier. Let me see if I can find it. Here is the poem. It's called Keeping Love. I would buy tons of rings and jewelry and jump off a building if she wanted me to. I would give her all of my money that I worked for. I would buy her a mansion, and if she wanted me to sleep in a cardboard box, I would. I would do anything she told me to do. Even jump off a building or break the law. If she told me to rob a bank, I would rob a bank. If she told me to beat up a little kid, I would go fetch a bat. If she said to eat a goat in a boat while reading a note while I float in a moat on that boat, I would. If I was starving and she had a lot of food and all I had was a piece of bread, I would offer it to her first. I would let her beat me up and abuse me just to keep her from leaving me. But if she ever even thought about hurting my frog Spanky, I would beat her, then leave her forever. I turned that in on, November 20th, 2002, and somehow I didn't get expelled. What a great poem. Feel free to steal that poem and use it on one of your assignments. Tell you what, if anyone actually does that who's really in school and turns that shit in, I will give you a sticker pack for free. Anyways, have a great weekend, guys. If you're drinking, don't drink too much, but also Don't drink too little. Let's play that motherfucking outro. God damn it, motherfucker, what? But if you ever even think about hurting fucking Spanky, the frog, oh, you're getting that ass beat.